Exactly, yo. Mickey Mouse hands come through. It's like boom, lawsuit right there.
Coming through with the middle finger, like
Oh, Mickey gonna come through.
Where's my money, bitch? Woo! Standpoint, man, like you come across as an artist, as a artist, you go to the wrong place, and all the artists that's there is involved in some gang stuff, and you're not, and you're just trying to do your thing. You will get pressed, like you will be, run out of town. Like these are things that happen on a regular, but again, like everything else, there's good and bad.
I tell that to him all the time. I tell him, like, who's to say that stepping outside right now, I can't get hit by a car, something bad won't happen. Like, you have to take a risk to, get anything in life. And I always tell him that. And my father definitely knows that. But, he gets very, like, when it's not in line with what his morals are and what he's been raised with, he gets very like, okay, that's not the right way. How do you know what the right way is? You've got to, continue. I tell him this all the time. And we often, like, me and my father, we butt heads all the time. But still, we have, like, utmost love for each other. But we butt heads, and I tell him, listen, I like this music stuff. And, like, my father's like, okay, as long as you stay an engineer. But, like, me and Tim say it all the time.
You're an engineer, just a sound engineer.
Exactly, yo. Listen, you don't need the details. Like,
you don't need to know.
You know what I'm saying? So,
just tell them, hey, listen, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna be an engineer. I'm gonna go to Full Sail, and I'm gonna be an engineer, and I'm gonna do it in like 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. And so, funny thing is also, so that's like with my father. My mother on the other side is like, she is super supportive. It's like yin and yang, basically. My father's just like very like, okay, you got to follow this line. This line has been proven. You go to school, you do this, you study, you're going to get a job and make money, you can survive. My mom...
It's been proven to survive.
Basically. And my father wants to just, wants me to get through surviving. But I've seen, like, if you go on Instagram, you see all these influencers and you see these people, like, there's people making money off of ways that my parents couldn't have in the past. As in, there wasn't this technology for them to, for example, do Forex trades on their phone, while you're like in the islands, while you're in Haiti. You weren't able to connect with your relatives across the world or in a different nation. Like, it's a different time. And I try to tell them that. And my mother is a lot more receptive to that because, like, she's overall just been supportive of me, basically. And I think I told her recently a track that me and Tim had worked on. This is maybe a year ago. And this is a song that both me and Tim had been on. So like I said, I produce, but I like to sing too. So both me and Tim, like when we're in the studio, when we have studio time, it's honestly just good vibes. So honestly, Tim will start a melody and like, Tim is great with freestyling too. You should have said that. But Tim hopped on. Yeah, you should have put it. Tim hopped on and did a freestyle, and I was like, yo, this is dope. And that's when I said, I want to hop on and do a verse. And that's when he was like, go ahead. Like, listen, like, whenever we're in the studio, it's like a no ego type of zone. Like, we just go in and do what we say, do how we feel,
Listen, man, we can't like buy studio time because we're going to spend all the money we got.
Yo. I mean, bro, honestly.
That's kind of why we went for that route. Like, let's just make our own studio.
Yeah. Basically.
And that was actually pretty smart. I mean, so actually, since you are talking about building your own studio, can you guys take me a little bit through the process of, what that looks like when you're starting to conceive an idea all the way up until it's out and ready to be put out together as you guys are working together?
Okay. Yeah, you want to start?
I mean, I can start it.
Yeah.
So usually, the way I see it, every song has a story to tell, whether it's yours or someone else's. Like, it's just the canvas. It's all about what you want to tell on the canvas, right? So usually Jiggy will send me like just a melody, one instrument, two tracks on it, very simple, and then I'll record something to it, and then he'll build the rest of the songs around it. Now Jiggy's very big on his percussion too, so there's times where he sent me his percussions, and we'll build what I like to call song maps. So we'll bounce back and forth basically. Like we'll kind of just fill in wherever one left the blank, and it's just spontaneous. And normally for my creative process is I'll freestyle the first 2 times, like on the track, whatever comes to mind. If it's mumbling, I'm mumbling it. Like I'll mess it up as many times as I have to mess it up. But then the point of it is to get the melody down together and to see how the flow of the song should go and where I should put what. And that's when I'll start like putting the lyrics together, and I'll close my eyes and like, where does this song take me? What do I remember from my past experiences? Or what idea is Jiggy talking about that I could relate to, where I could put myself in that situation? Because that's ultimately the goal for the music that we make, is to you can almost be at the spot where he's trying to describe.
Right.
So I remember one of the first times me and Tim went to the studio. Basically, and what we call the studio was Tim's house. You know, I woke up super early in the morning. I think I finished work that night like 8 p.m. Woke up next day probably like 8 a.m. and I just packed up my bag. My mom was still in bed. She's like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "I'm off to make music." You know, just packed up my bag, put my microphone in my bag. Actually, we had it's funny because we talk about the growth all the time, but we have a better microphone now. But I had like my what do you call it? My blue snowball microphone.
Yeah.
Like a $50 mic, threw it in the bag. I had my laptop, you know, had the MPK, put in my bag. You know, I take the train up because we live in New York. So I take the train up to the Bronx, you know, to see Tim. And it's like an hour train ride. And like, as I'm on the train, you know, I'm just thinking of different things. Like, yo, what are some different topics we talk about? And, you know, I get up to Tim's crib, and that's when, you know, we set it up and like that. And, you know, I play a couple of melodies. I'm like, yo, what do you feel about that one? Sometimes Tim will feel it, sometimes he won't. Then, you know, I'll show, because what I try to do, I try to like make a whole batch of stuff, because you never know what's gonna click.
Right.
I sometimes I'll be like, you know, let me use some bells for this. Tim loves his freaking marimbas, so I always go crazy with the marimbas. Sometimes I just go
it's that summer vibe, you know, it's that summer vibe.
OD. Sometimes I'll just play something like, you know, plain and simple on the piano, and then, you know, I'll just be like, how does it make you feel? You know, what feelings come from it? And sometimes I just be scrolling on the gram. I'll be like, I don't know. Let's see, what is this shorty? What type of song she would like? And that's when, you know, I show Tim the shorty, and that's when Tim was like, hey, you know what? She look like
turn the mic on, man.
No, hold on. So you're telling me that you actually will look at a picture and be like, what song was this person like, and then just create something from there?
Not exactly. So I'm like visual. So it's funny because music appeals to me in a visual way. For example, if I hear a sound, I picture like a whole scene, not even like what that person thinks about. Like, for example, like seeing how that girl's dressed or seeing her background, what music would complement that background, or what music would she like? What kind of music video would I see her dancing to? Or what type of vibe would she like? And it's like, I start piecing together different sounds, because pictures and audio just go really well with me. And that's when I'm able to just take that picture and be like, you know what? I feel like this vibe. Like the colors of the picture, the color she's wearing just reminds me of this sound, or like these notes or these chords. And I just build off of that.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Interesting.
And it's like, sometimes it's like, yo, she was here right now. You got this little smooth melody playing. What are you going to say to her?
Exactly.
And then, boom, songs come
That's
out.
how lyrics come, just like that.
You know,
like, didn't we have something like that? Your body crazy.
Yeah, we had a bunch of, we have like a lot of songs, man, like 200 songs.
Yeah.
You have 200 songs.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah, like they're like not all completed. Obviously, some of them are completed, does, but like if we whoever finish them within the week,
whoever completes all of them.
Yeah, right.
I have yet to meet a producer that doesn't have at least 100 to 200 uncompleted songs.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the creative process, how do you guys I guess feed of each other's energy to be able to kind of like get on that same page? Because that's one of the hardest things from a artist and a producer standpoint, is that whatever you feel whatever you're thinking here is going to translate to, a digital, in this case, a digital
Yeah.
form.
Mhm.
Have you guys gone into a situation where Jiggy, you're like, this is the way that this will sound great, and then you're like, nah, because that sounds weird, or I want to change this, and how do you resolve those issues?
I'm trying to think, man, because usually we kind of flow naturally with it. Like like
Yeah.
either like there are times where Jiggy will be like the main component of the project, or at times I'll be the main component, and we just complement each other like that.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, I feel like I really can't think of many times we really disagreed on it. I feel like we've definitely been like, nah, that don't sound right.
Yeah.
And we'll just like, we'll kind of just find a medium like that.
So,
We'll hear it both ways, get tedious with it, get picky with it. And then sometimes we reach that decision, and sometimes it's just like, we'll come back to it.
so coming back to it's actually a really important part, because the songs I sent Tim, like I sent him 6 songs and he sent back 6 the same day. Those are songs that I showed him. Like at least 2 of them were songs I showed him before. And Tim was like, I'm not really feeling it. Tim hopped on that and bodied it. I was like, come on, like, whoa, like,
Don't hype me up like that, man.
It's a matter of like, I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm about to get the million here. Okay. Okay.
Whoa.
Right. I'm getting too hyped.
Yeah.
But
I don't know why I felt old when I did that. I don't know why I did.
Listen, man, you part of bros. You hit it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, yeah, there was a couple of songs that I remember I showed Tim, and that's when, it wasn't the song for the moment, because, our feelings change and our emotions change all the time. So oftentimes when I make something, it's either when I'm feeling really good, really bad, or I don't know, I'm just bored. And those 3 emotions can spread out into a variety of different, sounds or different, feels. So I tend to make a lot of stuff that, could be here, there, could be here, like, miss or not. But it depends on like that atmosphere of when me and Tim are, in the studio recording. So it depends on like how he's feeling that day, or like, like, yo, Tim, I'm sorry to bring this up, but he was feeling type of way about a shorty that day, right? I'm not gonna name shorty, right? But that's when, I started out making a lot of moody stuff, right? So I transitioned to making my stuff sound a lot more upbeat. But before, I kind of like that lo-fi type of sound where it's kind of like, it's very subtle, almost like
in your bag, man.
It's in your bag music, almost like, Drake, like cups of rose, type stuff.
Yeah, so that more what you call it, more like a R&B-ish, vibe-ish flow.
Yeah. And so that's
Weekend.
Yeah, El Weekend. So that's generally where my sound was. And so I think I had a couple in the back, like in the storage, basically, that I showed Tim before. He didn't like it, and that's when he was, he was feeling down that day. And I was like, yo, check this song out. Tim vibed out and like went on for about 3 or 4 minutes, just like just freestyling, just word after word, because he was talking straight from his heart. And so I guess the way we foster a good environment is just like truly understanding what the emotion is at the time, and truly, understanding where we both are. So it's like we both have to get on the same energy first, then we translate that to a song.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
So who inspire you guys?
Like
Musically speaking, who are the people that you say,
Give me a second, I gotta get my charger.
I'm inspired by blah blah blah.
People that inspire me musically.
And they don't have to be superstars. It could be when I was in church, the Hers lady, inspired me. Just really like, who inspired you to do what you do?
Primarily my godfather. He was my stepfather at the time, but he's my godfather, my confirmation godfather now. Long story, but he inspires me. He's the one that introduced music into me. I feel like if I didn't encounter him in my life, I wouldn't be where I am today. He inspires me. All my life coaches, basically. I feel like my life coaches are basically people that I've met at the right place at the right time, that have helped me elevate myself to the next level. Otherwise, I would have just been a product of the system that was created around us, like being a minority, being in the hood, you know. Pero now speaking into more like mainstream type stuff, I'm inspired by Bruno Mars. Inspired by The Weeknd. Like I'm gonna go into that because I do Latin music primarily as well. I'm inspired by Daddy Yankee, Don Omar, Tego, Vico C, Ozuna now more recently. Sech is more like musically inclined than a lot of artists out there as well. I'm honestly inspired by anything that's just you can hear the care about it, you know.
Gotcha.
You can hear the meticulousness. You can hear the people's. You can feel the hours in the studio. Like
word. What about you, Jiggy?
Who I'm inspired by. So it's a little tough. Tim started his out by saying like, you know, the people in his life that really inspired him to do music. It's really tough for me because, like I said, I didn't really get surrounded by, you know, a musical background. So I don't have that direct translation, but I know that, you know, growing up, I always loved music, but I was about to say something. I'm going to say it for the next part. But when I was younger, so I guess one of my somewhat talents is like I like to dance. There's definitely people better than me, but I could hold a beat. I could, you know, stay on beat and dance.
hey man, go ahead, young king. Spill the Henny.
Spill the Henny. Actually, my parents showed me like a VHS tape the other day of me dancing like Michael Jackson. Like I remember that we were going to a party once, and I think I put on my black shoes. I purposely put on white socks and black pants to just resemble Michael Jackson. And at the party, you know, I was like, you know,
or every Dominican, either or.
Basically, I was like, and so that translates directly to, I guess, who inspires me as on an artist level. Michael Jackson has to be major for me because just growing up, he was the guy to be. Like he was the guy that whatever he put out, people would love. He looks your direction, you might faint. Like he was really that guy.
Listen, man, grown men passing out. And my man was looking from left to right.
Exactly.
Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, and
2
I think
minutes. 2 whole minutes doing that, bro.
Exactly.
And grown men.
Okay, passing out. Bodies just falling.
That's great.
So,
mass hysteria.
Yeah, we had a tape back home, and I think it was like Michael Jackson's first movie. It was called like the what was it? Moonwalker. That's what it was called. And I just remember like from start to finish, he was that guy. He was super talented, but he was also super down to earth. And I remember just growing up, and I just said, I want to be that guy. Like, I want to be musically talented like him, but could relate to a little kid, you know, crying on the sidewalk, and you could cheer him up and just make him feel good. You know, like to just be relatable, but also be talented. So basically, you know, impact people of all ages, really.
And
so,
just man, before you keep going, I just want to, you know, put this out there, because unfortunately, in the last, I would say, decade, his entire story have been stifled by this, you know, crazy allegations. And a lot of people that, first of all, again, you got followers, and then you got people that, you know, actually do their research. And a lot of people don't know that he started having this problem the minute that he started fighting with Sony. And it is incredibly crazy because Michael Jackson owned the Beatles catalog, and they wanted that, and they wanted that bad.
Yeah.
Like to a point where it got really, really nasty. So a lot of things, a lot of politics. That's why I'm saying that, you know, there's a lot of crazy things that happen out there. And when your father was saying, hey, you know, it's a dangerous industry, it is. And I will hate for, you know, for people that are not educated on the subject and understand the background behind it to make an assumption that, oh, he did some stuff to some kids. I mean, it's been proven that none of those kids were actually assaulted at any point in time. Now you're dealing with a grown man that didn't have a childhood, that pretty much turned to kids because he wanted to live that. He never had a childhood.
Yeah.
Never. That
He was
guy,
rehearsing.
he basically lived,
Phil Jackson worked him to the bone. Yeah.
and he lived to please us as the audience. He never had an opportunity to be a kid. So I just wanted to, sorry to go on a
Yeah.
tangent. I just, I'm a MJ, I'm a MJ fan, but I'm a fan of keeping it real. And that's one of the things that I hate when people talk without knowing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, me and Tim even talk about like Michael Jackson all the time, like, just being, the king of pop and the person he was, and like the legacy he could have had and how they ruined it, it breaks my heart all the time, honestly. Like just thinking about it, because his legacy is ruined even though it's false. And so, like, that goes into, what my parents were saying. It's like, music business shady, people trying to, get you for your downfall. But I mean, people like me, people like Tim, and there's so many other people who he touched their hearts. And, that's not going to change how I see him. He's still the king of pop. He's still like, that guy. He's still the super talented guy that, like you said, looks this way and that girl's dropping like a rock.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's crazy because people could say that all they want about him, but they still can't deny he's still the greatest performer to ever live.
So have you guys what has been the going into the whole people trying to be shady and stuff, what has been the craziest thing so far that you've encountered since you decided to go into this music journey? And you don't have to name names, but yeah. I think it will serve a purpose to, again, bring to light that this is not an easy journey. You got to be prepared for all the curveballs that come with it.
People don't want to pay. Pay your producers. This is being recorded. Pay your producers. Pay them.
Yo, they want to go crazy.
Fuck. I know I'm supposed to curse, but fuck.
You know that Sony,
hey, I'll pay you.
So Sony did a went online thing was like a couple days ago and went off on Universal because he still hasn't gotten paid for a bunch of music. He sued them. He won the actual lawsuit, and they still haven't paid him. So
crazy.
It's real. It's real, man. People think it's a game. Pay your producers, man. We should get
set up your stuff, man.
Shirt that says "Pay your producers."
Set up your backbone, man. Get your legal stuff set up right.
Yeah, exactly. Legal backbone. You know what I'm saying?
When we talk about the whole legal backbone, first of all, you're talking to creatives. They don't give a shit about no legal backbones until they have to, and then it's what. I really want to dive into what has been that journey like for you guys in terms of having to go and figure all this stuff out on your own, because obviously you don't have a label, you guys don't have a manager that's in the industry that's like, I'm gonna take care of that for you guys. Can you guys talk to me a little bit about that and how how this seeking information that you didn't know has changed the way you look at your music and your business?
Well, to start off, I just want to say I've seen way too many artists get screwed out of their labels for just not being informed. And that in itself that's bad. That's stupid. Like you have everything in your hands. Like you can Google search everything. And so I guess not to like throw shade at those people that I guess that are in bad positions, but if you are in a bad position, in a way, it's almost like it's your fault because you can look that information
100%, yes.
Search. And so I remember Tim really pushed that. Like I remember like when we got on the first call with you, and that's when I was like, all right, Tim, I'm about to make a couple of beats. He was like, what you mean making beats? You've been making beats all week. Yo, how about you research some of this to join? And I was just like, you know what? You're right.
Right.
So I went in and like started taking a look at the stuff. I'm still learning every day actually, but I took some time and I started looking into the. Hold up. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. We're good.
My mistake. I took some time and looked into, the LLCs, into, how we can get around, how we can reduce the amount that, people are taking out of the royalties that belong to us. And so that's just its own journey in itself. And it's really tedious. I got to say that because I went into music knowing that, you know what? I can just create. I can just, whatever my full expression is of like, music and how I feel, I can put that on paper. And so, paperwork in a sense is like relates to school with me. And I was like, oh,
Yeah, that's why Tim ran away as soon as you started talking about paperwork and LLCs.
yeah.
Listen, bro, I still got it done though, right? I still got it done though, right?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
That's right. We both got it done.
All right, man. So it's called growth.
Facts.
You know
I
what I'm
like
saying?
that. I like that.
Facts.
Absolutely.
So right, I will have to ask, and for those that don't know, um, I am not the know-it-all, like at all, like that is not who I claim to be, but I do have certain experiences in certain areas that I've been able to learn throughout the years, and I can tell you that to me the biggest like eye-opening moment for me was when I got into the whole how how much an artist will get paid when they're signed to a bad deal within the labels, and how the whole royalty thing works, because a lot of people don't know that you have two. I mean, every song has two
Yeah.
type of royalties,
Royalty, yeah.
Yep.
and right. So a lot of people think that it's just one thing and then you're good. No, you have your publishing,
Publishing.
which if you don't, if you mess around with your publishing down the line, you're gonna pay for it. And then you have your masters, which is the actual recording portion of it. So you have the composition and the recording. And to me, that was like the one thing that I was like, holy cow, like I've been doing this wrong. So what was to you guys in the last 2 months since we've been in this journey? And again, this was something that started very recently. And just to give the viewers a bit of a background, um, I was introduced to you by your uncle,
Mm-hmm.
and he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I have my nephew." You know how it is when somebody says,
Yeah.
I got a nephew." I'm like, "Is he really your
Yo,
nephew, or is he like your nephew?"
you know what's crazy? He's my uncle by marriage.
Look at that. So,
Hey,
but nonetheless, it's
family.
still your uncle.
Yeah.
He reached out and said, "Hey, I have my nephew that's doing music, and I would like, you've been doing this for a little bit, this and that. If you see if you can give me some advice." And then, long story short, do you remember the first question that I asked you?
I think you asked me what do I want out of the music? Like what do I want from it?
Right. Do you want to
What am I
be?
looking for?
Do you want to be a celebrity, or
Be
you want to live?
famous? Yeah.
Yeah, or you want to live off of your music? Because honestly, that will be determined by the actions that you take. For example, you said, "I want to live off of this. I want music to be my thing." The
Yeah.
first thing we did was we went into the paperwork and the legality, all the crap that
Yeah.
nobody wants to do. Because at the end of the day, if you want to live off of this as a business, you gotta treat yourself as a business. You gotta know your
Yeah.
business. So with that said, what has been the hardest thing, or the weirdest thing that you guys come across that you're like, what the freak? I didn't even know this was a thing.
I think for me the weirdest thing was just like we gotta have a business address and a business number, aparte from like all your stuff, and then going through just to get like the limited liability set up. It's like each state has their own different rules, and it was like a whole process to do it. Like, and if you have a registered agent, it's like all these little like nooks and crannies that if you don't cover can hurt you down the line. Yes, we gotta like. It took us so long because we were researching so much, and we were just going back and forth with questions. Like I was hitting all the time. I was hitting Tito with a question. I was talking to Jiggy. It's like, yo, what do you think about this? I'm like, nah, I don't know, man. That's Tito. Like, like, yeah, I was literally in the conversation most of the time. So, and we're always asking questions, and that's probably been like the craziest thing for me. And just learning how everything's really broken down in terms of the royalties, and really understanding what it would mean to like work with like outside parties, or whether we keep it in house type of thing. the pros and cons of like making all these different decisions, because essentially we pulled the trigger by doing this is what happened.
Right.
Like that's it. We had to pull the trigger.
What about you, Jiggy?
So I gotta say, so at first we had to set up, that office address, and that's when I remember that someone had to be on like a video call with me to notarize the. All right, listen, Tim already laughing, right? So, so I didn't know, but I'm setting up my company name as Jiggy Juice because I feel like that's something that's marketable, and I feel like that's I like Henny, and I was just like, yo, that's my juice. So
I like Henny.
Juice, So that's when I think I had them right or set it up with Jiggy Juice LLC, and that's when I hit up Tim and I was like, yo, what's up? We done. We got the LLC. We in this. And that's when, so two things. First one, that I didn't even get to the LLC yet. I just made the office. But in my mind, I was like, we LLC'd out here. I was like.
Gang.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you talking to CEO right now, player.
I was like, Tim, yo, we CEO gang out here. And meanwhile, I only got an office. But I was like, CEO gang. And so the second of all, I was just like, yo, can you take a look at the paperwork? I think I did it right. And that's when he was like, yo, why'd you write LLC? And I was just like, because we're LLC. He was like, no, they're going to attach LLC at the end of your name. So right now you're Jiggy Juice LLC. And I was just like,
oh.
On the form, yeah, bro.
Yeah. And so
that wasn't even the actual form for the thing. I'm like, bro, we haven't done there yet. We just got the location to put it in, the application.
Yeah. So
that was funny, bro.
I then brought it up to you, and I was just, I was just like, yo, do I gotta have two LLCs? I only got one company. I don't need two. So that's.
Yeah, man.
You told me that was okay, but like I guess for me, it was kind of just like understanding that to understand the steps. I didn't know how many steps would be or how many steps we'd have to take to get to that actual LLC status, so that we can start creating these accounts and start, because like all this was new to me basically, and so me and Tim found this website that basically broke it down and just made it easier for us. And this is why I further say, like, everything's on the internet, so if you don't know, that's your fault.
Look, bro, research crazy.
Even if you, like, for example, when we have our weekly calls, right?
Yeah.
Any subject that we covered, obviously, 45 minutes is not going to be enough for you to understand it thoroughly. Like, it is up to you to do the research. Like when I finish doing whatever sessions with Monica and I, we have a business coach. When we're done with him, we usually go and do our own studying. We do our own work, because the only reason why we are able to move forward is not because we have a coach. Coaches don't take you nowhere. You are the only person that can take you somewhere. And there is a sense of responsibility that will go on you. And a lot of people don't get that. Like, a lot of people will go and pay thousands of dollars to go see Tony Robbins and then be in the same spot, because they don't take the action. So, doing the research, now that does two things. It will get you where you need to be, and it will actually allow you to understand it next time. So if you come across someone that you can pay it forward, why not? That's gonna come back right back to you. Now, there might be some people, like, at one point, if I would have started telling you guys about all these things, virtual office and LLCs and other stuff, you guys would have been like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But again, it's up to them to figure it out.
True.
Right? Yeah. So that's that. I'm glad that you brought that up, because man, that can get a little. This is the part that creatives don't like.
I don't like this place, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, I did not like this phase at all. Yo, he could tell you, I'm like, bro,
yeah,
I just want to get it done.
I know. It took you like 2 months. I know you didn't like it.
Yeah. Bro, man, I was like, I want to make sure I did it right, because you can't mess this up, bro.
Of course. And like I said, and I told you guys, I'm pretty happy that you guys are doing it this way, because it's gonna make a difference. Like, you can always practice your craft, but if your business is not where it's supposed to be, you're pretty much, it's like you're throwing money down the toilet.
Yeah.
And I think the way I kind of like look at it is, you're building a machine
Machine.
that's going to just spit out money. If you
Hmm.
don't build the thing to catch it, you're gonna miss all of it.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
as far as the business side of it, now that you had that experience, if you can give an advice to someone that was in your position 2 months ago, what would that be?
2 months ago, I would say do your research, man. Look into everything. Uh, that would be it. Like, kind of like do your research and be consistent in your research. Like doing it one day out of the week for like 20 minutes is not gonna, like, part-time work ethic is gonna get you part-time results with it, you know. So if you're gonna be in it, you gotta be all in it. You gotta understand every aspect of it. So apply a goal, have a goal, and apply a means to the goal, and then get the best information for wherever you can, and kind of put it in like your toolbox. And then when you get to those points in time, you're gonna just draw out the appropriate tool to deal with whatever is in front of you. You know.
Facts. So I think that it is safe to say that at least that experience
Hmm.
taught you a lot of new information that you didn't know, and
Yeah.
you learn on your own.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I did not tell you what everything did. I just pointed out what they
Mhm.
were, and then you did your thing, so you
Yeah.
basically did that on your own.
Yeah.
And I, if for whatever reason you had the opportunity to provide some sort of platform for someone that's coming behind you. So let's say 10 years from now,
Hmm.
you're trying to provide a platform to be able to help someone get over that hump of the whole legality and all the boring
Yeah.
stuff. um, do you see yourself getting involved at that level, or do you rather just kind of like do your music thing and do your thing on your own?
That's actually something I wrote down on my, like, where I see myself 10 years from now. And my affirmations was like, I want to create a platform where people can just create, because a lot of times that's honestly all we want. Like, people that truly love it, like, they don't want it to be so damn hard. They don't want it to feel so damn complicated. They just want to create. So if I could create something that makes it easier for someone who's in, say, the position I was in a few months ago or a year ago, and they can see it, and it kind of illuminates the way for them to take the steps, because we had the drive and the motivation. All we needed was the direction. And as soon as you pointed out all the stuff, it was like in a matter of like literally in a matter of like 2 hours, we're like, okay, we're going that way.
Yeah, basically.
I was like, yo, get in the car, let's go.
You give us the compass. We were just like, oh, we going the wrong way.
Exactly. We're doing all this music stuff, and like I was about to put out a song, no legal stuff ready, no ASCAP, no sound exchange, no way to
Yeah.
catch the royalties, no account for it. I was gonna
I,
drop the song, yo. I was like, whoa, espérate.
I, I remember that I asked you. I asked you, if this would be something that you'll be willing to do, because obviously I'm not gonna be like, yo, you can't do that. Like, you're not
Yeah,
signed to my label.
yeah.
But that moment when you're like, I am actually gonna put a hold on my baby that I created, and I'm not gonna put it out. And that right there was what showed me that you were really about your shit. Because
Mm.
a lot of artists, they would have just put it out. Now, mind you, I am not claiming to be that, saying that this is the right way of doing it, because everybody has different
Mm-hmm.
perspectives.
Yeah.
But I can tell you from a business standpoint, which is it's a little bit more concise. It makes more sense for you to have your business ready before you
Mm-hmm.
start putting out, a bunch of music.
Yeah.
Because now that you have your publishing company, you can do the damn thing under your publishing company. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that to me has always been one of my biggest advocacies for creatives. I am the first person to tell you, man, that we didn't know any of this stuff. We didn't have anyone. I didn't have someone that actually told me
Yeah.
this is how you do it. We
Yeah.
had to learn it. I mean, it took a lot of years, a
Hmm.
lot of sleepless nights, and a lot of money into it before we started kind of like getting into that. Oh, this, that. Now people are like, hey, you
Yeah.
gotta do this. Now you gotta do that. So because a lot of times people wait until they're here,
Hmm.
get their base, which I will never understand. I
Hmm.
personally feel like you shouldn't put out one song until you have your business ready.
Yeah.
If you're really about this and you're gonna take this as a business venture, because again, creatives, they don't see themselves as businessmen. They see themselves as artists. And an artist that does not that doesn't see himself or herself as a business individual will be a broken down artist. People will steal from them, they will rob them left and right without them even
Hmm.
knowing why, how, or who,
Yeah.
and they'll end up resenting the very one thing that they love the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that is hard. There are so many artists out there that loved what they were doing in the 90s,
Yeah.
and they were popping. I'm talking about popping.
Profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they at?
Rob had to go back, try to fight for their legal property. Broke. They're nowhere right now. They're nowhere.
Sucks.
So it's just to avoid some of that stuff. So I'm happy that you guys are taking this route. And again, it's not like the fun, yeah, this is the stories when we're no, but it is necessary. And if
Yeah.
Success is uncomfortable. That's what it is.
you don't have it, you will pay for it later on. It's like if you don't. Let me put it to you like this. I compare this to eating healthy. There will be a lot of people that will tell you, I can't eat, I can't go buy some organic stuff. That's too expensive, man. Like it's gonna be an extra like $50 a month in groceries if I start buying all this, healthy stuff.
Mhm.
What they're not really thinking about it is that
Long term.
10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, when they keep their terrible habits, they'll end up overweight with diabetes, heart disease, cancer, you know, kidney problems, lung problems, like all this crazy stuff that will be a fraction compared, like what you were going to spend in the groceries would have been a fraction compared to what that medical bill is going to look like.
That's
Yeah.
facts.
And tell you what, recently, as you guys know, I started doing the health insurance thing. I started studying that, right?
Hmm.
And I came across so many information about how people that are not healthy, they
Yeah.
automatically get grouped to the Obamacare stuff. And it is, I don't even know why they call it Affordable Care Act. That shit is not affordable at all. Like you guys don't need to worry about it because 9 times out of 10 you have, work or whatever the case might be. But it is that. So when you look at it as an artist, you will pay for it later on.
Wow.
Top.
Now, if you guys have any, I guess, advice that you can that if you had the capability to give an advice to yourself 10 years from now, what would that be?
Like into the future.
Think about this, because 9 times out of 10 they'll ask you, oh, if you can go back and give yourself an advice, nigga, it's too late, I'm here
Do you
already.
mean
So
you
deep.
mean like right, right? Do you mean like 10 years
So,
in the past or the future?
no, today, where you stand today,
Mm.
you're going to be looking at this video.
Uh,
What will you tell yourself?
um. Yeah, what would I talk? Well, first of all, I say congratulations, you made it. The first thing I'm gonna say, and I hope you never don't lose that love you have for the music. Stay consistent in everything, and sometimes success is uncomfortable, so get uncomfortable.
Facts.
Oh, you smoked that. What am I gonna say?
You know what I'm saying?
Ah.
Get money.
Damn.
You can think about it. You don't have to. You don't. that is one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people do. And I saw how Kanye handled that shit like a G. He went on the radio and someone asked him a question about the whole Trump thing,
Mhm.
and he was thinking, and someone tried to press him, and he said, "You got to give me time to think. Like, if you want me to give you a legit answer, you have to let me think.
Yeah.
So let me think. Think."
Mhm. There you go. Yeah.
So what comes to mind actually is that I saw this meme. I was in school. I was very I did well in school, but I went through a lot of struggle. I struggled a lot in my life, as in to get anything good and to improve in anything, I really have to struggle, as in even with this music. Because you can ask Tim, there's been several times I actually thought about quitting. So if there's one thing I'd probably tell myself in the future is like, again, yo, congrats. I told you he's gonna make it. And look at that, you almost thought about quitting. That's probably what I tell myself.
I say that to him every day. Look at that. You thought you was gonna quit on me. Now look at where you at now. CEO. Come on, man.
We're gonna go from the kitchen to the penthouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You know, it's funny. I told Tim, I said, like, yo, in 5 years, I want us to compare this picture. And literally, what I was doing was like at a hotel is that I had to travel for work, and I think I was running low on money. I had to pay rent, and so basically, I was like penny pinching. And that's when I was like, you know what, I have the money right now. I could probably go out and probably get something fast food, something. I could probably go pay for like a nice dinner that may cost a little bit of money. But what I did, I bought some bread, I bought some peanut butter, and I was like, yo, Tim, take a picture of this shit. In 5 to 10 years, me eating bread and peanut butter right now, I want to compare that to the steak and caviar
Bro.
in 10 years.
5 years we're gonna
5 years. We talking 5 years, man.
You ain't gonna see me as a cop in 5 years, that's for sure.
Listen.
That badge is going down, bro.
Don't let your captain see this video.
Yeah,
for real, right?
You gotta like blur out his face.
I love you.
So I mean, I'm really surprised that you guys already have that picture, already playing, and and the more time that we spend together in this journey, the more you will understand my source of wordings, because I'm a very like driven when it comes to the whole mindset. Like, if your mindset is not right, man, my man, I don't give a crap what you do, how you do it, how much money you got. A lot. It doesn't matter. You will not go anywhere if your mindset is not right.
Yeah.
Because the minute that you are left alone, because there's a lot of people that make it to where they are. That's why a lot of artists that have a machine behind them, when the label drops them, they're pretty much done. I don't want to throw shade on anyone, but look what happened to Tony Dice, and this is a Spanish artist that was
Yeah.
at the top of his game. I mean,
Yeah,
Tony
he was booming.
was like a Luis Miguel de reggaeton for a while. You know what I mean? And then he got dropped. He got into issues because of legal issues, because motherfuckers don't know their shit, and then they get, they want to get hype after they make it. But if you signed that paper that said, I'm gonna give you XYZ, then when you
And
popping, don't be like, yo, you robbing me. How? Because when you didn't have
you
shit,
signed it off.
when you didn't have shit, I was paying for your car, paying for your house, paying for your bills, taking care of your family, taking care of your marketing, taking care of your career. And now that you made it, you want to say, I want all my shit? Come on, dogs. So when
Facts.
and unfortunately, it's gonna happen to a lot of people because they don't read. They don't read. So
Yeah.
I'm big on what I'm saying is I'm big on mindset, and I'm happy that you guys are painting that and visualizing that. And as the journey continues, as I told you guys, you know, we are going to bring you into a lot more of this mindset situation, because it is the only thing that you need. You do not need money.
Yeah.
You do not need other people that you think that you need to make it somewhere. Trust me, you don't. All you need is that mindset, because you will create it. You will create it. You just need to know how to do it. And I'm learning every day. I'm still, I'm in the hustle. I don't want to wait until I'm Mr. Tito Knoise. I don't want to wait until, my wife has her personal brand and her company super like up there to be able
Mhm.
to start documenting this stuff. I want to talk about it now. Like
Yeah.
this is my peanut butter and bread moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why do I need
Yeah.
to wait until then if I know where I'm going. Like this shit is gonna be.
Exactly.
Yeah. Talk that talk.
So, King
Talk
Thing.
that talk.
Listen, man, you people that know me know that I am not a cocky person. What I am is I don't want to say that I am humble because that word to me it's way too big and too complex for the simple mindedness of us as like humans. Like being humble, that's a whole different level of consciousness that most of us don't reach. I'm just
Yeah.
simple. I'm a simple person that knows what I want. I like to help people, and I like to help people because I feel good helping people. You can
Yeah.
say that. You can say that. I am selfish. Hell yeah, I'm selfish. But if with
Talk
my
that talk.
selfishness, I'm gonna help out millions. By all means, I'm gonna be a selfish ass motherfucker. I don't care.
Right.
Yeah. Talk that talk. People talk that talk.
That
Just saying.
shit.
So
You
I'm
know what I'm
happy.
saying?
I'm happy that you guys are in the same mindset, man. Because
Yeah.
honestly, without it, you
So
won't
where
make
we
it
going?
far. You won't
Yeah.
make it far.
And I
I
gotta say
Yeah.
those books helped a lot too. The subtle art
Yeah.
of not giving a fuck.
Yeah, that's
That's
the
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 book,
that
bro.
was
I'm
the book
finishing
that
it
got
tonight, bro.
that was the book that got my wife and I into kind of like the path, um,
Mhm.
and then things just like the gate just opened and things
Yeah.
just started. It was just crazy. So as soon as you're done, and for if you're gonna run yourself as a business, I'm telling you, Think and Grow Rich,
Yeah.
it's a must. That's not even
Yes, sir.
it's not even like optional. Like you have to get into that book and oh, look at this guy.
See, I got an ebook.
Listen, bro. Nah, but he finished it before me because of that ebook, man.
Right, right. But
I'm here like taking notes.
but this is the thing though. He will still need to get the hard copy because
I'm
that
going to.
book has instructions on how to run certain things that when you forget, you can always go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're doing you both of you. There's again perspective. There's no right or wrong. As
Right.
long as you're able to get the information and you're able
Right.
to understand the power of it. I mean,
Hmm.
you finished the book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your biggest takeaway from that?
From the subtle art of not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
The biggest takeaway was there was a lot of takeaways, honestly.
So much, bro.
There was like
Um.
every like in every chapter there's probably like three or four, but I guess like the one was the opposite law, where it's kind of just like you have to do the opposite to receive what you want. I'm not
Don't
explaining it.
try. Don't try is what he's trying. Don't try.
Don't try and
Don't
what
force it.
basically it's so there was a lot of good ones, and so that was one major one. No,
Remember that though. Remember that piece. And the reason why I recommended that book is because that book brings it into a more logical
mhm,
explanation. Because once you're done with those books, I'm gonna get you guys into the more esoteric piece of it, the more in depth. It gets a little more complicated, but because you read those books, it's not gonna be like, whoa, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah,
So the whole don't try. Literally think of this as every time you try something, you're like, especially when you say, I'm gonna go and try this. In your mind, you're in your subconscious. You're already knowing that you're not going to fall through with it or it's not going to work out because you're just going to try. That's what you do when you try. When you try things, it's different than when you do things.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when you try to make it somewhere and you don't make it, I tried.
Facts. And like you can ask Tim. That's what actually got me to like for when I started making a lot more beats, and I challenged myself to just make a beat within an hour. And basically, I don't have much time every day, but every day set aside an hour and just make a beat, whether it's good or bad. And I think it took me about like, within the hour time slot was kind of rough for me, but around like the 8th or 9th one, I started getting good where I was just like, you know what, within an hour, it has to be calculated. This, that, and the third. And before I used to have to tell myself, all right, let's see what I can try to make today. I kind of just get up and go straight to it.
Get to it, bro. I told you stop overthinking. Just make it.
Don't try, man. That's
Create.
That's even the word try, man. When I'm, again, I'm working on bettering myself every day, just like you guys are. And that is one of the things that, my wife and I always do is we don't try to do things anymore. We either do or we don't. Because if we don't accomplish it, what difference does it make? Like it added absolutely nothing to the goal. If it's something that you gain some value out of it, great. You learn your lesson from it. But I don't even use the word try.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I feel that.
I agree. It's either you do or you don't.
So I think that we're gonna have to chop this up into like multiple parts because we got saucy with it.
Oh yeah, we got into it, man.
But there will be a continuation of this because I definitely want to get into the more mindset piece of it with you guys. And the fact, and this is perfect because we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
So, like, it's gonna be awesome to hear your perspective from where you are today, October 8th.
Yeah.
Where you're gonna be, in a couple of weeks, couple of months, in your point of view in certain things. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited for this.
So is there
we done with that LLC stuff, yo? Let's do it. Let's go.
Is there anything that you guys want to add or want to say to your, the people that are watching this? Because obviously you guys are gonna have this for yourselves, for your socials and stuff. Like, what message do you want to put out there to people that are supporting you, family members, whoever?
All right. So first, I want to say thank you to anyone that supported me and my friend here and Tito and all that. You guys honestly help us push harder and give it that extra little mile. For all the people that are watching this and want to take that step into a direction that they want, something that they love doing and they want to turn into their lifestyle, this is the time to do it. You're young. Be risk oriented. Take the risk because you can't take the risk at 65 and 70 because you're viejito, bro. Do it now. You rather do it now and find out you like it or it's not for you, or you try it, man. Live the life. Develop the habits of the person you want to become, and eventually you'll grow into that person. You feel me? So all my social media is Tim.Oasis on YouTube, SoundCloud, Instagram, Facebook. Don't follow me on Facebook. I haven't cleaned that up yet, but it's out.
Yeah, man. All right, so I also want to say just shout out to the people that supported me, that brought me along this way. I can't I gotta say all the support just is the reason why I'm still here, honestly. Because like I told you guys earlier, like I almost gave up. I was really under pressure and like I was really thinking, I might not continue because you know what, I'm not good enough, or you know what, I'm not as good as other people. But you know what, those people that are up there, they had to put just like a diamond. A diamond is formed through pressure. You have to overcome that pressure to reach that next level. So if I would tell anybody anything, it's just continue to persevere and do what you love, because honestly I love this music and that's what makes me happy, and I'm gonna keep pushing until I can live off it. So let's get to it. I'll add Jiggy, Mick Jiggy, MICK.JIGGY, and also Jiggy Juice, patent pending. You know what I'm saying? No.
Yo, I need you to say that, bro.
JUICE on Instagram. Follow me.
Word. I mean, I hope that that's the goal, is to patent all this stuff.
Yeah, man.
Soon we're gonna come up with some merch. I already told Jiggy some dope ideas.
Yeah, the Jiggy Juice.
We might need to change the hands though, because this gonna be wilding with the lawsuits.
Right.
Oh yeah, fat bro. You gonna lose all of that, bro.
Exactly. Yo, Mickey Mouse hands come through. It's like boom, lawsuit right there.
coming through with the middle finger, like,
oh, Mickey gonna come through.
Where's my money, bitch? Woo!
Motherfucker.
What the bitch?
No, but I definitely, again, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to hop on this. This is something that the goal is to grow this type of talks and platforms as much as possible. With Knoise Nation, that has always been my wives and I vision, is to be able to provide a platform for creatives to create and not have to worry about getting robbed. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't. That's like one of our biggest goals. And I'm necessarily right now I think I'm on like 2,700 followers. I might not have a crazy amount of followers yet, but I do have a lot of supporters, and there's a huge difference. I know a lot of people that have a lot of followers, and if they were to ask $1 from each of those followers, they'll probably get a buck or two. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time to actually chat with me here. As this grows, honestly, this is the first one that I do on Zoom. I try to divide it where I actually do it with my phone, because I'm in the room with the same person and do some spontaneous selfie video type thing. But I like this. I don't have to go nowhere, and I can be in my undies. I mean, I can just be comfortable.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but like we can see the pizza on the sweater, right? Like I know we.
No, that's not a pizza. That's a yoga dog.
That's a yoga dog.
That's fire. I didn't even feed.
Okay. I'm like, it look like a triangle. I'm like, it's not pizza, bro.
Yo, I thought I'm just hungry. Flying on pizza like the.
Maybe I'm just hungry, bro.
Listen, man, I have 5 days I don't eat, so don't talk to me about hunger.
You're right, man. You're right. I'm gonna catch up to you. Don't worry.
Anyway, so I want to thank everyone that actually took the time to time. It is so precious. So thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you actually took the time to actually even just click on this thing and watch what this two unknown fuckers have to say.
Don't worry. For now.
Just wait on it. Just wait on it, son.
But that is the beauty of what we do here, is that I remember when Romeo Santos was tocando for food in the Bronx. Shout out to all my South Bronx. Oh, I'm sorry. I went to school in the South Bronx, so you already know what it is.
Man. BX, baby, you know what I'm saying? Until we die.
Going out Brooklyn real quick, I can't even think.
Hey, when I first moved to the U.S., I was living in Brooklyn, so
okay.
Brooklyn definitely is legendary. But the BX though. But that right there is just like coming from that type of background, understanding that all the odds were against us. Like we were
bro,
not supposed to be here right now. You know what I mean? But yet we are, because we said we are. So thank you guys for supporting us, and thank you for taking the time to hear this. Hopefully, someone gained some sort of value out of this. Hopefully, the LLC talk was able to help someone that wasn't really in that space. Hopefully the stories of how you guys have overcome your family, kind of like, so you want to do that?
Yeah, right.
Like, hopefully that comes across and helps someone understand that it's not just them. I'm sorry to say this, but you're not that special. It's not just you. Like everybody goes through this shit. So with that said, we will sign off. So if you guys want to hit me up, it is at Tito Knoise, and Knoise is spelled with a K, so Knoise. So don't I don't want you to like a knife. Think like a knife.
like Knoise. Yeah. So you're gonna get mad if they use the English language, bro? That's what we're doing now.
No, it's all good. It's just I like to put it out there, because they'll look for Tito Knoise and then they won't find it. So again, Knoise, T, and then obviously Tito, Tito. All the social media. I will be doing a bunch of this interview. I'm gonna bring you guys back in a couple months.
No doubt.
I mean, we're gonna do this multiple times.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
one of those times when you guys make it out here, we'll do it in our studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, there is a studio. We just, it's easier to do it here.
Yeah.
And just thank you guys again. I am super grateful. And whatever you do, just remember that at the end of the day, it's not that bad. It could be worse. So
True.
keep your head up, be creative, stand out, and make your own noise. Just get it.
Dale.
Yeah.